Hey guys, I'm SKV and you're watching SKV Plays On, and welcome to another video of Warframe today. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you like it a bit more, please do subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let me get straight to the point. You already saw the Wukong Prime. I showed it off in the previous video. This time I have all the three primes which came out recently: the Wukong Prime, the Zhuge Prime, and also the Ninkondi Prime. I've already formatted it a few times or polarized it a few times, and I got my build ready for well, at least Wukong Prime and Zhuge Prime. I think Zhuge Prime I didn't really need to format it, but I'll show you guys my build. But before that, let me get my daily completed. My daily says that I need to go interact with my Kubro right now, or Kavat. So here we go. And also I'll show you my build for my Kubro, or the mods that I've used for my Kubro as well.
Things grow, dreamers. I believe in you all.
Thank you, Nora Knight. Okay, check this out. This is the build for my Wukong right now. I'm using all the three Umbral mods pretty much, and I haven't unlocked this one yet. I didn't really need anything up here. I would have probably used either a peculiar mod, or I would have used either peculiar growth or peculiar bloom, probably this one because of the lotus, or I would have probably used rush mod, but I think it has a pretty decent sprint speed right now, 1.05, so I don't really need to worry about the sprint speed on Wukong. And of course, I have the range at the default 100%. I gave it efficiency of 170%. I keep my fleeting expertise at rank 3 so that it doesn't take up too much duration, or it doesn't give me too much of a negative duration, but gives me a decent amount of efficiency, because of which I have streamline also adding to that. Gives me 170. If I gave it the extra 2 ranks on fleeting expertise, it would only give me extra 5% efficiency here. So I'd rather have 170% efficiency and not lose a lot of duration. So my duration is also balanced at 115%. And of course, because I'm using the Umbral Vitality, Umbral Intensify, and Umbral Fiber, all three Umbral mods pretty much, I do have my armor up to 804. I have my health up to 1605, and my strength is up to 166%. Usually when I use only these two mods, it gives me 155. Because I'm using this, I get extra 10% strength, and also adds to the armor, and also adds to the health also. So I'm using the Umbral mods for that reason. And of course, I'm kind of using primed continuity to balance out the negative 40% I got from fleeting expertise. Other than this, I'm using the primed flow to give me like a 553 energy capacity, along with the Celestial Stomp, which is a augment mod for my first ability, my Celestial Twin, which is Wukong's clone. Holding onto the first ability after activating the clone, that clone is going to do a stomp, and it has a pretty good range, like 20-meter range or radius for the clone which does the stomp, and it actually starts levitating the enemies in that radius, which kind of costs you energy for using that hold ability after activating the clone, of course. But if you have efficiency, probably you could cut down on that cost as well, or probably even if it is 25 energy, I don't mind. Even if it doesn't cut down the cost after using efficiency mods, it's fine. And also I'm using Arcane Guardian, maxed out Arcane, and also Arcane Fury to increase the damage on my melee. And of course the aura is the Steel Charge, which kind of increases a lot of possibilities for me to have better, higher rank mods, because this is the only aura mod which is at rank 9, I would say, or rank 5, a rank 5 mod which has the capability of giving extra 2 more or 4 more points for the whole Warframe capacity to hold mods. So other mods would have like probably aura mods, other mods right now. Aura mods have 7 total points on the top left or top right of the card or the mod when you maxed it out. But when you max out this one, Steel Charge, it is the only one that has 9, and it increases the capacity by 4 more points. So it really helps out with the capacity and kind of gives more chances of you using higher rank mods like the rank 10s, which I'm using right now. I have pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rank 10 mods up here, which is why I don't have enough space to put some utility mod up here. So let's see, I might polarize this again. Other than that, I do have the Zhuge Prime. I am using Zhuge Prime, the Serration, Split Chamber, and all the 4 dual stat mods for the Elemental. I've given the top row the High Voltage and Malignant to give me Corrosive, and the bottom row Thermite rounds and Rime rounds to give me Blast. The Heat and Ice gives me Blast. The Electric and Poison gives me Corrosive. And I'm using Primed Shred to give me like 11.5 fire rate, which is really good. I'll show it off soon enough. And of course I'm using Point Strike right now for the extra crit chance. If I ever get a Riven mod which has crit chance and a lot of fire rate, I might probably replace this one so that I can get my crit chance up to 100%. Right now, because of the dual status mods, I'm getting 100% status, which is really good. And of course the base damage is kinda giving me the 542 on the elemental, and also slash is 212, and since it has a magazine of 30, it does a pretty good damage against level 155 enemies, which I'll show soon enough. And we come to my favorite weapon, probably one of my favorite, my Ninkondi Prime. I am a fan of Bruce Lee, so nunchakus became too popular because of that guy, a favorite. And I am using the Atlantis Vulcan for the stance. I'm using again all the 4 dual status mods to give me 100% status, and I'm using the Sacrificial Steel, which gives me crit chance of 88%, which when put into the mod build, I get a crit chance of 41%. Again, if I do get a Riven mod here with crit chance, I'll probably increase it up to 100% if possible, because this Riven mod, this Riven disposition for Ninkondi is 5, so I might have a pretty good chance of getting like really high crit chance if I'm lucky, that is, on my rolls. But I don't have a Riven mod, so let's see. And I'm using a Condition Overload. Of course, you know everyone wants to use Condition Overload when it comes to status. This thing kinda increases the melee damage by 60% depending on each status, which means slash also gets counted into the status type, blast also, and also corrosive. And since this weapon type is a default electric, the corrosive damage is more than the blast. It's not same. Usually it would be same, but since it already had the electric type damage on it, the Ninkondi, it gave me extra corrosive. Now I have the Iron Staff, which pretty much the same mods I'm using on my Ninkondi, except for the Sacrificial Steel. Of course I could use that also here, but instead I gave it a primed reach to give more range on the prime staff, because it really helps out when I'm fighting against multiple enemies and I'm using my 4th ability. It really doubles the range or triples the range when I do my hits with the staff, and my clone also gets the same deal with it, so that's why I'm using prime reach instead of the crit chance. But yeah, Condition Overload again, and all the 4 dual status mods, and of course the primed pressure point, the base damage. And of course Berserker to increase the attack speed so that my damage output is also a bit faster and gets done quickly. You can see Blast and Corrosive is pretty much the same. The Prime Staff doesn't have any elemental by default, so that's why these two are the same numbers here. And the impact is 747. I would have used the Prime Heavy Trauma, but no slots left. I wish there were 2 more extra slots so that I could use the Sacrificial Steel and also Primed Heavy Trauma. It would have been pretty good, but I'll leave it at that. Also, I'm using the Horus Kubro. Doesn't matter what Kubro you're using, but this is what I have on my Kubro pretty much. Fetch mod is a must since you need to pick up things which are not close to you also, so really helps out. 13.5 meters. This one's actually better than the Sentinel because Sentinel has 12 meters or something. This one has more than that. An extra meter definitely helps pick up things. And I'm using the dual status mods here, not all 4 of them, but just the shock and poison to get the corrosive damage out of this. I'm using a shelter just for fun. I like the effect of how it looks. I mean, it takes up a lot of capacity, but still, I'm using Link Health and Link Armor because I didn't really think shields needed anything much from this because my Wukong shields are not really high, so the Link wouldn't really give me too much shield, but the health is high, so it gives me 3000 health because of the 165% Link. And of course, I'm using the default hunt mod from the Horus. I'm not using the invisibility mod, the stock, which kinda makes me and my Kubro invisible if I'm inactive or idle. So I'm not using that one. But I am using the bite for the crit chance and crit damage, and also maul, which gives me extra damage, base damage. And must use is a primed animal instinct or the normal animal instinct so that you have a good radius on your minimap to see where the crates are, where the loots are, and where the lockers are, so that you could get things done quickly. Also it shows the dropped resources from enemies, so really helps out with the loot radar. And of course it shows the enemies on the map. Has a 33 meter range, I think, plus 33, around 30 meter range, I guess. But yeah, that's what I'm using right now. I could change out the corrosive for blast or gas or whatever I want, depending. But this is what I'm using right now. I pretty much formatted at least 8 times the Kubro. Now then, let's go check out what this particular build for Wukong can do. I'm gonna go. First thing I need to do still is go to my foundry, get my. There we are. That and that. Keep the forma for build, and I'm not gonna waste another adapter for now. Let me just unlock my Exilus adapter here. Bam, done. Later I can probably format and I'll get peculiar bloom on it or something, which would give extra lotus apart from my ephemera that I'm using right now. I am getting into the relay right now, so you guys can check out what the Wukong build can do and what type of damage it can take from level 155. And fast travel. And the Grandpa Simoris and Simulacrum. Here we go. And also I'll show you guys what the melee can do, melee weapon can do, and also the 4th ability melee weapon can do, and also my primary Zhuge Prime can do. Right now I'm pretty much using the heavy gunner corrupted and also corrupted bombard because they have really high armor and ferrite armor, so I'm gonna be using them. I always use them for testing out builds. because of their armor rating. And here we go. I'm not using my clone, so check this out. Because it has only 30 magazine size, make sure you do have like either reload speed or at least have fire rate. I'm going with the fire rate and punch through because of the shred. Prime shred really does a lot of slash and corrosive and blast damage. Really takes them all out quickly. Of course, the heavy gunners are more formidable compared to the bombard. So these ladies go down way too slowly. Their armor rating is way too tough. Plus, if you give them too much time, they do kind of gain back a little bit of health. So, already out of ammo. Let me go get some ammo. It is pretty good, but I would suggest using a crit chance mod also. Like point strike definitely helps. I was wanting to use argon scope, but I did not have enough space for my build on my rifle. I definitely would suggest argon scope, or if you have a ribbon that has really high crit chance, you'd probably be pretty OP with this particular build. Although it does feel like the 30 magazine size is really kinda low. Feels very low, the magazine size. But yeah, the status, the slash and also the corrosive does pretty good. It's not too fast compared to most of the other weapons that I've used, but because of which because of the 100% status, it does really high damage on the level 155 enemies, as you can see. I'm gonna simulate that again, but this time with my Ninkondi Prime. I'm gonna be using the Ninkondi. Once the Berserker gets activated, it's pretty much mayhem with this thing. I haven't given a primed reach for this, so that's why I'm not getting too much of a range. I have to pretty much stick to one enemy at a time type of a deal. And this one also has a little bit of slash along with electricity and along with the mods I've given to it. I do like the finishers this thing has sometimes. But this melee weapon is pretty good at 100% status, and also because of the crit chance. Of course, I'm not using crit chance on my fourth ability, which is the Prime Staff. You can see what this thing can do now. Ready for it? You see what I mean? Not even 5 seconds. Not even 5 seconds. Level 155 enemies. That was level 155 enemies. Are you kidding me? Simulate. Pick up a little bit of that. Go here. It's not even level 155 enemies. Got taken out. Just like that. I mean, you can imagine what range can give you. Range just gives you more of an advantage for crowd control. And that really helps. Now what I'm gonna try out is take out the AI. I'm gonna unpause the AI. I'll leave the invincibility on and simulate. Now I need to try this out. Doesn't do too much damage, but definitely knocks out all of them a bit away from. And it also builds up my armor up to a 2000, I think. $1,500 armor. $1,500 armor. It goes up to 1,500 armor. It's pretty good. Goes up pretty quickly though. So along with whatever armor I have, I do get extra armor which is on a timer, of course, so using that kinda helps. And now I'm gonna use it with my clone now. With the clone you do like extra damage, I would say. Extra damage, extra range on it. And it increases the armor pretty much, and also increases my health of the clone. My clone's health is pretty much 5,000, and also shield is at 1,000, which is pretty good. I don't have to worry about my clone too much, even if it's level 155 enemies. That's about it. And of course, I did show off what the Prime Staff can do, and I showed what it can do with the third ability. I showed what it does with the fourth ability. Showed the Ninkondi Prime, showed the Zhuge Prime. Zhuge Prime is not too fast in killing compared to most of the other weapons that I've used, but it does pretty good damage for whatever stat it has. And the chance that you could get both crit chance and status chance at 100, depending on whether or not you have a Riven, for both Ninkondi Prime and also the Zhuge Prime, is pretty amazing. There's no other weapon, I think, that could go up to 100%, depending on whether you have a crit chance type of a Riven mod. I don't think any other weapon has a chance of going both crit chance and status chance to 100%. So if you do get a mod like that, go for it. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's about it. And I hope you like this video. And don't mind if it was too long. But this was just my build for my Umbral Wukong. And that's about it for now. And as always, you guys keep smiling, and I'll catch you guys next time. And until then, sayonara, atata, I'll see you. Bye bye.